If you could have your next memoir in your hands right now and get to read one chapter, what is the part of your future, the chapter that you would most love to read if you could crack it open at this moment?
Oh my God, my heart just started beating so fast.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I'm going to jump into this because I know we have limited time, but seriously, they gave me the book yesterday and I had a 4 hour plane ride. So I got a massive chunk into it and it is
Oh,
fantastic. So seriously, thank you for taking the time.
thank you.
I would imagine that being a part of the spotlight in the way that you are, there's a degree where you have to kind of learn to protect yourself and protect your privacy. So whenever you are putting yourself out there in a book like this, how do you decide what we like just complete and total strangers have a right to know about your personal life?
Right. It's such a good question because I have been so private for so long in my career. And I think really when I was writing the book, I had to be willing to write the book for myself primarily, right? Like for myself and my kids, kind of. And then along the way, I've decided what stays in and what comes out. And most of it has stayed in, to be honest. This is not really a traditional celebrity memoir. It's much more of a story of the journey of my family. And really, I got some news from my parents a few years ago that kind of turned my world upside down. And I think in a lot of ways, writing the book was my way of understanding these circumstances and making sense of my life with this new information. So I really tried to be as open and honest as possible because a lot of it was for myself, for my own process.
Without giving anything away, because I want people to read this book, the text message you get is something I don't. It's well, that actually leads into my next question because the opening pages of this book it's a very personal, intimate moment with not just you but your family. So I am sort of curious before you even put pen to paper, what kind of conversations do you have to have? It's one thing for you to decide I'm going to do this, I'm going to write about my own moments, but what sort of conversations do you have to have with your family about a book like this?
Yeah, well, my parents have read the book and my husband has read the book. I have their blessing, all of them. But when I started to write it, I didn't really sit down and plan how to write it or what to write with them because I really did feel like this is my version of the story, right? Like this is me sort of putting myself at the center of the story of my lives and of my life. And I wanted to make sure that they were okay with what I wrote, but I wanted to make sure that I was writing it from my perspective and not from theirs because I can't write their story. They have their story. This is really my take on my life.
Speaking of the fact that it is your life, there are also a lot of moments in this book that really, I think, exemplify how far you've come as a person in every form and fashion, personally and professionally. What is the difference between the woman who you're writing about and the woman who wrote the book?
Oh, wow. What a great question. I mean, I think in the book, I'm writing about so many different women in a way, right? Because we all evolve so much throughout our lives. And I think at different points in my life, I've been so many different people, especially when I think about all the different characters I've played and how they've impacted my life, which again is something that I write a lot about. So I don't know. I mean, I think the person that I am today is maybe somebody who has integrated more of those various personalities and experiences and traumas and adventures and sort of coalesce them into one person. That's what I'm trying to do. I think I'm trying to be more integrated and authentic and honest as myself.
Mhm. You and I share something in common. I'm a big believer in signs. I mean, something comes along and I assign significance to everything. And you talk a lot about cues in the novel, moments where the universe was trying to tell you something or maybe giving you a hint as to what's to come. I am sort of curious, moving forward, are you the kind of person that is after putting this book together and realizing how many there were, are you now looking for them? Are you looking at every moment as a possible cue, or do you just sort of take them as they come along?
I guess maybe a healthy combination of both on a good day. I do think that a lot of times I see things in metaphor and I do feel, I believe in signs. I believe in like God trying to tell us things, the universe trying to tell us things. So I try to stay alert and aware and be led, by my heart and kind of by what's going on around me. I don't know. Does that answer your question?
I
That feels
100% answers your question. Well, I just loved that. And again, I don't want to like give anything away, but like there were just little moments where you would describe a certain cue that experience, and I was like, holy shit! Like that's kind of
crazy.
amazing. And I'm a big believer in stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
So crazy. Yeah, it's amazing to me that when I look back, how much with this new information that I got from my family, it really kind of unlocked so many mysteries in my life. I felt like I was able to make so much more sense of the cues and the adventures and the dynamics and the relationships. So writing the book really helped me to kind of layer this new information and understand my life.
One of my biggest cues is when my dog starts barking to just mute myself. That's always a good indicator and a good sign from the universe. Obviously there's going to be, you mentioned there are a lot of people close to you have already but read the book and they've given you your blessing. They know what's in it. But who is someone in your life who maybe hasn't had a chance to crack it open yet that you are just dying to get a text message from them saying, okay, just finished it. Here are what my thoughts are.
Huh. I feel like, some of my friends are getting it now. Like some people that aren't mentioned in huge ways, like the cast of Scandal, right? Like I'm sending it to a bunch of them now. So I'm very close to them. And so it'll be interesting to get some of their responses. Bellamy's read it and Tony's read it because I'm doing Q&As with them. And Katie Lose has read it, but there's some cast members who haven't read it yet who I'm excited.
I love that. Well, I know I've been going down a lot of heavy topics, and I would like to bring up one of my favorite, what I'm pretty sure is a fact, and you can kind of clarify how much of it is urban legend, how much it isn't. But I love this fact that when you were growing up in the Bronx, that you had a substitute dance teacher who taught you how to dance. I'm sort of curious, can you tell my audience who your substitute dance teacher was when you were a kid?
Yes. So growing up in the Bronx, I went to the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club, and one of the big girls in class, like she's a little bit older than me. So she was like, we all looked up to her, was Jennifer Lopez. And we had a dance teacher who was in and out of the hospital, and she covered for him. So I got to take hip hop and jazz and flamenco all with J-Lo.
Have you talked to her about this? Have you ever told her? What did she say because obviously I'd imagine you were one of many students that she had.
She's always been so kind and so supportive. And she's a phenom. I think in so many ways she's inspired me, and I adore her. And she always thinks it's funny. She loves to tell people that she taught me how to dance, but I feel like I should be a better dancer to be able to say that. But
well, I have to talk about you coming to Chicago, which is going to be just a massive moment. I'm sort of curious what that means to not just put the book out there and have it be on shelves and have people but also kind of have a personal moment with people. This is already a personal story, what that means to you. And if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about what you might be doing when you come to town.
Yeah, so I'm going to be in Chicago, and I'm going to be with one of my best girlfriends, Bellamy Young, who played Melly Grant. And I'm so excited to be in conversation. On all of these stops on the tour, I've really made an effort to have conversations with people that I really trust and admire and feel comfortable with, because the book is so personal. And I want people to feel like they're at home in the theater. I want people to feel like they can shake off some of their own shame and some of their own secrets and be more of their authentic selves. So we're going to just have a really deep diving, honest, loving conversation. And I can't wait. I love Chicago. I haven't been to Chicago in a long time, but I first fell in love with Chicago when we shot Save the Last Dance there in the winter. It was freezing and amazing. So I'm really excited about being back in the Chi.
I'm excited for people to see you and get to have this experience in person, because one of the things I love about your memoir, sometimes I read memoirs and it sort of feels like, oh, like your PR rep wrote this, but this feels like if you and I got drunk at a bar and you're like, all right, I'm going to tell you let's go. And I mean that, I hope that it comes out the right way, but it felt very real and authentic.
I'm trying to spill the tea for sure.
But it's so well done. I'm going to cut you loose on this. I want to end by, I guess, like looking forward to the future, because obviously you have so much more of your life and your career to come, which hopefully maybe decades from now might mean another book. If you could have your next memoir in your hands right now and get to read one chapter, what is the part of your future, the chapter that you would most love to read if you could crack it open at this moment?
Oh my God, my heart just started beating so fast. I would want to read the chapter about how happy and fulfilled my children are. Yeah.
Damn it.
I know.
It wasn't supposed to end this way. Miss Washington, I appreciate you. You are always one of my favorite people to interview, and I already had so much respect and love for you, and it's only grown with this book. So I know you have an insanely packed schedule. I hope you love your time here in Chicago. If you ever need anything, reach out. You've got me. So seriously, thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of it.
I'm gonna be done I'm going on vacation with my girlfriend this weekend. I'll be done by the weekend. So seriously, thank you, and please thank everyone on your team. They were so kind to me, and I appreciate you.
Oh, awesome! Tell your girlfriend she got a good one.
I will. I appreciate you. See you later. Bye guys.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.